Last week, we brought you a special report into how the previously life-threatening disease thalassemia is being treated in the UAE. New developments in the fight back mean that cutting-edge medical advancements could phase out new cases of thalassemia altogether. But in a country with such a high number of sufferers, there's a huge social cost being endured. This week, we continue our focus on thalassemia, exploring the psychological and social effects of living with the condition. Priyanka Dutt reports.
When Suhaib Aslam decided to get married, he was faced with resistance, especially from his prospective in-laws. Suhaib has thalassemia. Ever since he was 2, he has had to have blood transfusions every few weeks. For his wife's parents, having their daughter marry someone with a chronic disease was tough to accept.
It was very difficult to convince the family, but then for usually people invite to a nice restaurant to get to know each other. They have lunch or dinner together. In my case, I invited them to the Thalassemia Center to have lunch with me. I invited them here because I thought this would be the best place to know each other because I going through this condition.
Now, most conversation about thalassemia is usually centered around the medical aspects of the disease. But there is a huge social cost as well. Education, career, marriage, children, these are traditionally seen as natural stages in one's life, but come with its own set of challenges for patients of thalassemia. More so, the psychological effects of thalassemia often go much beyond the patient, extending to the entire family. This is why Dubai's Thalassemia Center has its own dedicated psychology unit, in keeping with its vision to provide holistic care, both physical and emotional, to its patients.
Patients are not only limited to the medical symptoms or the thalassemia itself, but to the human experience of thalassemia, the emotional journey of thalassemia and what it means. It affects, of course, the whole family unit and then thereby affecting the community.
I have seen many patients lose their lives because of this issue also, because they get so deeply depressed by not finding a job, not getting married, not living a normal adult life.
An issue so serious that the Thalassemia Society launched awareness programs, not just in schools, but also among potential employers. And while the going is not always easy, more and more young thalassemics are succeeding at the workplace.
When I was getting interviewed, I had an instance when the employer asked me during my interviews, oh, you know, how many times you get sick? So you do get reluctant employers who really don't want to employ a patient when they know he's a thalassemic. So far, I've struggled through getting all the jobs. I managed to succeed as well because there are employers who do understand.
When I started working with them and I told about thalassemia, they were very much, they welcomed me and they said it's not a big, it's okay. They treated me as a normal human being, and rather than I can say they have helped me a lot.
Education and career are relatively easy issues to deal with, but the larger issues of marriage and, more importantly, children are rarely addressed. But in a population where 1 in 12 locals carries the thalassemia gene and where the entire region is in the thalassemia band, it is an important conversation to have.
When you will have children, you have to be careful because I am a thalassemic major and my wife is genetically clean. So in my case, or in a scenario like this one, for sure my children will be carrier. But carrier is not transfusion dependent, so nothing to worry about. Of course, they will be definitely carrier, so we will have to be careful in future when they grow up and they are about to start their life. So when they're getting married, we need to make sure that their partners are clean.
Suhaib's story had a happy ending. Not only has he been happily married for the past few years, he and his wife hope to start a family soon, a fact that he hopes will give hope to his peers. Priyanka Dutt, Emirates 24/7.